All I'm going to do is just rush through a load of films here and just give a quick description of what happens in the film. So let's start with the obvious ones. Evil Dead. Now, the Evil Dead trilogy, the original one, stars Bruce Campbell as Ash, trying to defeat the Deadites. The first one is just a pure horror, but is slightly funny. The second one is unintentionally funny, but is absolute genius. And the third one is called Army of Darkness, and it sends him back into medieval times to stop the Deadites back then, and he is probably one of the most funniest characters that you'll ever see in a film. Evil Dead, the recent one, is one of the most goriest and bloodiest films that you'll ever see. I thought it was absolutely disgusting, and I absolutely loved it. Basically what happens is, this is a similar story to the first one, except it's a lot more shocking and a lot more brutal. Devil's Rejects. Devil's Rejects is... No, House of a Thousand Corpses, do that one first. Rob Zombie's first film, and it's about a bunch of misfits who go and kidnap people, and basically torture them and kill them. I'll just leave it at that. Devil's Rejects is a sequel to that, however, they're being branded as the Devil's Rejects, and they're being hunted down by the police. So that's quite a good film as well. Sorry if my eyes aren't paying attention to the camera or the screen. I'm just looking through as to which ones to mention. Oh yes, the Alien films. Alien 1 is obviously the classic one. Alien 2 is also a classic one. I would avoid Alien 3 and 4, but watch Prometheus. Prometheus is genius because it's the perfect blend of sci-fi and tension at the same time. Sure, it's suited for a younger audience, but it's absolutely genius and absolutely horrifying. I'd avoid Alien vs Predator series because it's not that special. And I'd watch the Predator films because obviously the first two, you've got Arnie in the first one, Danny Glover in the second one, and even Predators because that's Robert Rodriguez that did that, and Adrian Brody, Danny Trejo, Lawrence Fishburne, plenty of other people in that one. So, Predator films as well. Just give me a second, let me think. Final Destination 1 to 5. Basically, a load of people cheat death in each of them, and they are slowly caught up by death and killed off one by one. Absolutely brilliant set of films, and I've reviewed them, and they're going up sometime soon. I'm making sure that they're going up sometime soon, because I absolutely love them films. Oh, RoboCop. Now, I've seen the first one, and it didn't do much for me. Sure, it's mainly sci-fi, because it's set in the future, but there are horror aspects to it as well, and people enjoy the films a lot. Personally, I did like it, but not as much as, say, some other people did. So, worth a watch still, but you might not like it as much as you expect you to. And the film I've saved for last is a film called Triangle. It's been described as the film that messes with your mind the most because you're constantly trying to work out what's happening. Basically, a load of people on like a yacht sort of boat end up getting turned over. They get onto this ghost boat where they think there's people on it, but there's not, and the main character, the main woman, is already on the ship, but she's with the group as well, and there's like 3 of her on the boat at the same time, and she's killing them, and my god, it's confusing, but it's genius at the same time. So that's pretty much my everything else done. I mean, I'm sure there's some other horror films I could mention. You've got, like, the Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon, Hannibal trilogy. You ought to watch them as well, because they're not horror as such, and it's more, not drama either, thriller. But they're still absolutely brilliant, and I think that's about it for the horror one. I hope you've enjoyed watching it, and that you've checked out a couple of films from the ones that I've mentioned. Probably haven't, or you've already seen them, but I hope you've enjoyed watching it.